Welcome back to Cursed by Choice. We are back with another story. Let's move to it.
It was 2:17 a.m. when the knock echoed through my quiet apartment like a thunderclap in the dead of night. I bolted upright in bed, heart pounding, wondering if I'd dreamed it. But no, there it was again, soft but insistent. Who the hell knocks at this hour? I glanced at my phone, no missed calls, no emergencies. Grumbling, I threw on a shirt and stumbled to the door, peering through the peephole. Standing there was a woman I'd never seen before. Petite, with tousled dark hair cascading over her shoulders, wearing nothing but an oversized t-shirt that barely skimmed her thighs. She shifted nervously, her bare legs glowing under the hallway light. My pulse quickened. Was she in trouble? Or was this some kind of prank? Little did I know, that knock would unravel my boring life into a web of temptation I couldn't escape. Let me back up a bit. My name's Alex, 28, single, and utterly unremarkable. I work from home as a graphic designer, which means my days blend into nights of takeout, Netflix, and the occasional gym session to pretend I have my shit together. I just moved into this old brick building in the city 2 weeks ago, cheap rent, decent location, but the walls were thin, and the neighbors kept to themselves. Or so I thought. The apartment next door, 4B, had been empty since I arrived. Until yesterday, when I heard muffled thumps and giggles through the wall, someone moving in. I didn't think much of it. People come and go. But now, here she was. I cracked the door open, chain still latched for safety. Can I help you? I asked, trying to sound casual while my eyes fought not to drift down to where her t-shirt rode up just a hint as she leaned forward. She flashed a sheepish smile, her green eyes wide and apologetic. Oh God, I'm so sorry to wake you. I'm Lily, your new neighbor in 4B. This is embarrassing, but... I locked myself out. My phone's inside, and the super's not answering. Do you have a spare key or something? Or maybe I could use your phone to call a locksmith. Her voice was soft, almost melodic, with a slight lilt that made her seem even more innocent. I hesitated, scanning her face, no makeup, just natural beauty with freckles dotting her nose. She looked harmless, maybe 25 or so. What kind of guy would I be if I left her stranded in the hall like that? Sure, hang on, I said, unlatching the chain and stepping aside. Come in. I'll grab my phone. She slipped past me, her arm brushing mine ever so slightly, sending an unexpected shiver down my spine. The faint scent of vanilla and something floral trailed behind her as she padded into my living room on bare feet. Thank you so much, she sighed, plopping onto my couch like she'd been there 100 times. Her t-shirt hiked up a fraction more, revealing the smooth curve of her thigh. I averted my eyes, focusing on digging my phone out of the kitchen counter. No problem. Locksmiths at this hour might cost a fortune, though. You sure the super won't pick up? I tried 3 times, she said, crossing her legs casually. But as she did, the fabric shifted, and I caught a glimpse. Wait, was she not wearing anything underneath? My mind raced. No, couldn't be. It was just the angle, the dim light. I handed her the phone, our fingers touching for a beat too long. She dialed, but after a few rings, she hung up with a pout. Voicemail again. Great. Mind if I wait here until morning? I promise I'm not a serial killer or anything. I chuckled, trying to play it cool. Yeah, of course. Couch is yours. Want some water or coffee? Though it's kinda late for caffeine. Water would be amazing, she said, her eyes lighting up. As I filled a glass in the kitchen, I heard her shifting around. When I turned back, she was stretching her arms above her head, the t-shirt lifting dangerously high, exposing the tiniest hint of lace panties, or was it? My throat went dry. She caught me looking and smiled innocently. This building's drafty, huh? Sorry for the outfit. I was just getting ready for bed when I stepped out to toss trash and, bam, door shut behind me. "No worries," I muttered, handing her the glass. Our conversation flowed easily after that. She told me she was a freelance writer, new to the city after a bad breakup. "Needed a fresh start," she said, sipping slowly. "What about you? Live alone?" "Yeah, just me. Keeps things simple." I sat in the armchair across from her, but the room felt smaller, charged. Every time she laughed, she'd touch her hair or adjust her position, and I'd swear the t-shirt inched up a bit more. Was it on purpose? Or was I imagining things? The clock ticked toward 3 a.m., but sleep was the last thing on my mind. As the night wore on, Lily grew more relaxed, curling her legs under her on the couch. "You know, I heard noises from your side earlier," she teased, her voice dropping a notch. "Were you watching something exciting?" My face heated. I'd been binging a thriller, but the way she said it made it sound dirty. "Just TV," I replied, but she leaned forward, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "Oh. What kind?" "The kind that keeps you up late." It was innocent enough, but the air thickened. She uncrossed her legs slowly, and this time, there was no mistaking it, a flash of bare skin where fabric should be. My heart hammered. Was she flirting? Or just tired and unaware? Before I could process, she stood up, stretching again. "Mind if I use your bathroom? All that water." "Of course, down the hall." As she walked away, her hips swayed just a little extra, the t-shirt clinging to her curves. I heard the door click shut, and I exhaled, trying to calm down. This was crazy. She was just a neighbor in need. But when she emerged a few minutes later, her hair was tousled like she'd run her fingers through it, and she paused in the doorway, silhouetted by the bathroom light. "Alex? Your place is nicer than mine. Maybe I should crash here more often." She laughed, but her eyes held mine a second too long. I swallowed hard. What was happening here? Little did I know, this was just the beginning, the first thread in a tapestry of seduction that would pull me deeper with every accidental encounter. The next morning came too soon. I woke to the smell of coffee brewing. Lily was in my kitchen, humming softly, still in that damn t-shirt. "Hope you don't mind," she said, handing me a mug. "Figured I owed you after last night." Her smile was bright, but there was a glint in her eye, a promise of more disruptions to come. As she left to call the super again, who finally answered, she hugged me goodbye, her body pressing against mine just firmly enough to linger in my thoughts all day. Work was impossible. Every email I typed, my mind wandered back to her bare legs, that teasing stretch. By evening, I heard music through the wall, soft, rhythmic. Was she dancing? I shook it off, heading out for groceries. When I returned, arms full of bags, there she was in the hallway, bending over to pick up a dropped key. Her short sundress flipped up slightly, revealing nothing underneath. She straightened quickly, blushing. "Oh, hi neighbor. Need a hand?" I stammered a yes, and she helped carry a bag inside, her dress strap slipping off her shoulder as she set it down. "Whoops," she giggled, fixing it slowly. "These things are so unreliable." We chatted briefly, about the weather, the building's quirks, but her proximity was electric. As she left, she whispered, "Thanks again for last night. You're a lifesaver." That night, the knocks didn't come, but the thoughts did. I lay awake, replaying every moment. Was it all coincidence? Or was Lily playing a game I was already losing? Days blurred into a pattern of accidents. One afternoon, I was working at my desk when a thud echoed from next door, followed by a muffled curse. Curious, I knocked on her door. "Everything okay?" She opened it a crack, peeking out with wide eyes. "Alex." Perfect timing. My shower curtain rod fell, and I can't reach to fix it. Could you? She was wrapped in a towel, hair wet, droplets trailing down her collarbone. I nodded, stepping inside her apartment for the first time. It was a mirror of mine but cozier, with candles and plants everywhere. In the bathroom, the rod was indeed down, but as I stretched to reattach it, she helped by holding the other end, her towel loosening just enough to reveal the swell of her breast. "There," I said, stepping back, my voice tight. She tightened the towel with a grin. "My hero. Want to stay for lunch? I make a mean salad." I declined politely, but the image burned in my mind. That evening, she borrowed sugar, knocking in yoga pants and a crop top that left her midriff bare. As she measured it out in my kitchen, she bent over the counter, the pants hugging her ass perfectly. "You work out?" she asked casually, catching me staring. Yeah. Gym sometimes." My responses were getting shorter, my restraint thinner. The teasing escalated subtly. One night, I heard moans through the wall, soft at first, then building. Was she, with someone? Or alone? My imagination ran wild. The next day, she waved in the hall, all smiles. "Rough night? I thought I heard you tossing and turning." "No, that was, never mind." She laughed, touching my arm. "Well, if you ever need company." The hooks kept coming. Each encounter leaving me wanting more, questioning everything. But the real turning point came a week later, when she invited me over for dinner as thanks. I arrived to find her in a silk robe, loosely tied, the fabric whispering against her skin as she moved. "Come in," she purred, closing the door behind me. The air was thick with anticipation. What started as innocent conversation over wine quickly turned flirty. Her foot brushing mine under the table, her robe slipping open to reveal lace beneath. "Alex," she said softly, leaning in, "I've been thinking about that first night a lot. You were so kind, but I wonder, what if I hadn't locked myself out? Would we be here now?" My breath caught. The slow burn was igniting, and I was hooked, helpless to stop it. But just as her hand grazed my thigh. Her hand paused on my thigh, fingers light as feathers, tracing a slow, lazy circle just above my knee. The silk of her robe had slipped further, one perfect breast half exposed, the lace bra barely containing her. Candlelight danced across her skin, making every curve glow. I couldn't breathe. "Lily." I managed, voice rough. She tilted her head, lips parting slightly. "Shoo. You've been so patient, Alex. Watching me, wondering. I know you've noticed." Her foot slid higher under the table, the arch pressing gently against my inner thigh. Not aggressive. Just enough pressure to make my cock twitch involuntarily. Every time I accidentally bend over, or stretch, or let something slip, you look. And I like it. My mouth went dry. All those moments, the towel, the sundress, the yoga pants, flashed through my mind. "You planned this?" "Not at first." She leaned closer, breath warm against my ear. "But after that first night, when you let me stay, when I saw how hard you got just for me sitting there in your t-shirt. I couldn't stop thinking about it. About you." Her fingers inched upward, stopping just short of where I desperately wanted them. "Tell me to stop, and I will. Right now." I didn't say a word. Couldn't. Instead, my hand moved on its own, sliding to her waist, feeling the heat of her through the thin silk. She shivered, a soft sound escaping her throat, like a sigh mixed with a moan. "Good boy," she whispered. She stood slowly, robe falling open completely now. Black lace panties, sheer enough to show the dark shadow beneath. No bra after all, the fabric had been a tease, cups barely covering nipples that were already hard peaks. She stepped between my legs, hands on my shoulders, looking down at me with those green eyes gone dark with want. You've been good, waiting. Let me reward you a little. Before I could respond, she sank onto my lap, straddling me. The heat of her core pressed against my growing erection through my jeans. She rocked once. Slow, deliberate, grinding just enough to make me groan. Her arms looped around my neck, fingers threading into my hair, tugging lightly. Feel that? She murmured, rolling her hips again. That's what you've been doing to me every time you stare. I gripped her hips, thumbs brushing the lace edge. Her skin was fever hot, soft as sin. She leaned in, lips hovering over mine, close enough I could taste the wine on her breath, but not kissing. Not yet. Patience, she teased, nipping my lower lip instead. A sharp sting, then her tongue soothed it. My hand slid up her back, under the robe, tracing her spine. She arched into the touch, breasts brushing my chest. The robe slipped off her shoulders entirely, pooling at her elbows. I stared, couldn't help it, at the way her nipples strained against nothing now, begging for attention. She caught my gaze and smiled wickedly. You can touch, if you ask nicely. Please, I rasped. Her laugh was low, throaty. She guided my hand to her breast, letting me cup the weight of it. Soft, full, perfect. I thumbed her nipple, rolling it gently. She gasped, head falling back, exposing the long line of her throat. I couldn't resist, I leaned in, kissing the pulse point there, tasting salt and vanilla. She whimpered, grinding harder against me, the friction through fabric driving me insane. More, she breathed. I want to feel how much you want this. My other hand slipped lower, cupping her ass, squeezing. The lace was damp already, I could feel it against my palm. She moaned softly when my fingers brushed between her thighs from behind, tracing the seam of her panties. Alex, yes, like that. We stayed like that for what felt like hours, her rocking slowly, me exploring her body with hands and mouth. Kissing her neck, collarbone, finally taking a nipple between my lips. She cried out, fingers tightening in my hair, urging me on. Every sound she made echoed in my ears, every roll of her hips sent sparks up my spine. But she never let it go too far. When my hand tried to slip inside her panties, she caught my wrist, kissing my palm. Not yet. I want you desperate. Aching. Just like I've been. She slid off my lap suddenly, leaving me throbbing and breathless. Robe hanging open, hair wild, lips swollen from our almost kisses. Tomorrow, she promised, voice husky. Or maybe tonight, if you're good. She tied the robe loosely, the knot barely holding, and walked to the door. At the threshold, she turned, blowing me a kiss. Sweet dreams, neighbor. Try not to touch yourself thinking about me. Save it. The door clicked shut. I sat there stunned, cock straining painfully against my zipper. The apartment smelled like her, vanilla, arousal, wine. I couldn't move for 10 minutes, replaying every second. When I finally stumbled to bed, sleep was impossible. Every creak of the building made me think it was her coming back. Around 2 a.m., I heard it, soft moans again through the wall. This time, unmistakable. She was touching herself, whispering my name between gasps. Alex, fuck, yes. I gripped myself, stroking slowly, matching her rhythm. But I stopped before the edge, her words echoing, save it. Torturous. Delicious. The next few days were pure agony and ecstasy. She upped the game. Morning coffee run. She accidentally bumped into me in the hallway, coffee spilling on my shirt. Oh no. Let me help. She dragged me into her apartment, peeled the wet shirt off me with slow fingers, tracing my abs. You're in such good shape. Her lips brushed my chest as she cleaned me with a towel. No more than that, just enough to leave me hard and aching again. Afternoon workout, she invited me to spot her in her living room. Tiny sports bra, leggings that left nothing to imagination. Every squat, every stretch, she positioned herself so I had the perfect view. When she asked me to hold her hips for form, her ass pressed back against me. "Feel that burn?" she purred. I did. Everywhere. Evening movie night, she texted, "Come over. Bring popcorn. Wear something comfortable." I arrived to find her in an oversized hoodie, and nothing else. We sat on the couch, her legs draped over mine. Halfway through the film, her hand found my thigh again, stroking higher, higher. Stopping just short. "Shoo," she whispered when I groaned. "Watch the movie." By the end, I was shaking with need. She kissed me then, finally, deep, slow, tongue teasing mine. When she pulled back, eyes glassy, she whispered, "Tomorrow night. My bedroom. 10 p.m. Don't be late. And don't come before then." The anticipation was torture. Every hour dragged. I worked, I ate, I paced. Wondering what she'd do. How far she'd go. If this was real or some elaborate fantasy. At 9:55 p.m., I knocked on her door, heart in my throat. She opened it wearing black lingerie, garter belt, stockings, the works. Hair down, lips red. Right on time, she smiled, pulling me inside by my shirt. The door shut. Locked. She pushed me against the wall, hands everywhere, chest, abs, finally palming me through my pants. "You've been so good," she murmured, unzipping me slowly. "Now, let me show you what I've been saving up for." Her knees hit the floor. Her knees hit the floor like a promise finally kept. Lily looked up at me with those green eyes, dark now, pupils blown wide with lust, and wrapped her fingers around my aching cock. Slow strokes at first, base to tip, her thumbs smearing the bead of pre-cum in lazy circles. All this time, she whispered, voice husky, "You've been so good." Holding back. Waiting for me. She leaned in, breath hot against my skin. No more waiting. Her tongue darted out. Flat, wet, dragging from root to head in one long, deliberate lick. I groaned, hand fisting in her hair. She hummed approval, the vibration shooting through me, then took the tip between her lips. Sucked gently. Teased with flicks of her tongue. Pulled back just to kiss the underside, soft open-mouthed presses that made my thighs shake. When she finally slid me deeper, warm, slick heat enveloping inch after inch, I nearly lost it. Her cheeks hollowed as she bobbed, slow and deep, hand twisting at the base in perfect rhythm. Every so often she'd pull off with a wet pop, stroke me fast while looking up at me, lips shiny. "You taste so good," she murmured. "I've been thinking about this since that first night." I couldn't form words, just ragged breaths and curses. She took me to the back of her throat again, nose brushing my stomach, holding there until her eyes watered. When she pulled back gasping, a thin string of saliva connected us. She wiped her mouth with the back of her hand, grinning. "Not yet. I want you to come inside me." She rose gracefully, shedding the last scraps of lingerie like they offended her. Naked now, curves glowing in the low light, skin flushed pink, nipples tight, a slick sheen between her thighs. She pushed me back onto the bed, climbing over me like she owned every inch of my body. Straddling my hips, she hovered. Just close enough that I could feel her heat, but didn't sink down. Instead she rocked forward, sliding her wet folds along my length. Coating me. Grinding her clit against the underside with slow, torturous circles. Up. Down. Again. Her breath hitched every time the head nudged her entrance, but she denied us both. "Lily, please," I rasped, hands gripping her thighs hard enough to leave marks. She leaned down, breasts brushing my chest, lips at my ear. "Beg a little more." I like it. Please. Fuck, I need to be inside you. Her smile was wicked. She reached between us, lined me up, and sank down one devastating inch at a time. Tight. Hot. Perfect. Halfway in, she clenched deliberately around me, making my vision blur. Then she lifted almost off before dropping again, deeper, fuller. Over and over, setting a rhythm that was pure agony and bliss. Her hands braced on my chest, nails digging crescents into my skin as she rode. Hips rolling, grinding, then bouncing harder. The wet slap of skin on skin filled the room. Her moans grew louder, unrestrained now. Yes, like that, fuck, Alex, you feel so good. I thrust up to meet her, hands sliding to her ass, spreading her, pulling her down harder. She cried out, head falling back, hair cascading wild. One hand slipped between her legs, fingers rubbing frantic circles over her clit. Touch me everywhere, she gasped. My palms roamed, breasts, pinching nipples until she whimpered, waist, hips, ass, everywhere I could reach. She arched, clenching tighter. I'm close, don't stop. Neither could I. The pressure built fast, coiling low, unbearable. Lily. Come with me, she panted, voice breaking. Fill me up. Please. That shattered me. I drove up deep, burying myself as far as I could. She shattered first, body seizing, walls pulsing around me in rhythmic waves, a sharp cry tearing from her throat. The sensation dragged me over the edge. I came hard, hot, endless pulses spilling inside her, hips jerking, groaning her name like a prayer. We collapsed in a sweaty tangle. She stayed on top, forehead pressed to mine, both of us shaking through the aftershocks. Her breath fanned my lips in soft pants. After long minutes, she kissed me, slow, deep, tender now. No more games. Just us. She rolled to the side, curling against me, leg draped over mine. Fingers tracing idle patterns on my chest. Silence stretched, comfortable, sated. Then she spoke, voice quiet. You know. I didn't actually lock myself out that first night. I blinked, turning to look at her. What? A shy smile curved her lips, cheeks flushing. I saw you moving in. Cute, quiet guy next door. Alone. I wanted to meet you. So I stepped out in just the t-shirt, forgot my key on purpose. Knocked at 2 a.m. The teasing, the accidents, the slow burn, all of it was me. Testing. Seeing if you'd bite. I stared, processing. Then a laugh rumbled out, low, incredulous. You played me like a damn fiddle. She bit her lip, eyes sparkling. And you loved every second. Admit it. I pulled her closer, kissing her forehead. Guilty. Best damn game I've ever lost. She snuggled in tighter, voice sleepy and content. Good. Because I'm staying right here. And tomorrow? I might need help hanging pictures. Or fixing the shower again. Or, whatever excuse gets you back in my bed. I grinned into her hair. Bring it on, neighbor. As we drifted off, bodies entwined, her heartbeat steady against mine. I realized that single 2 a.m. knock hadn't just changed my nights. It had changed everything. And I wouldn't trade a single teasing second of it.
I hope you like the story, so don't forget to share it and subscribe to my channel.